what I went through, I think I wanted Zoe to go through the same thing.
Thank you so much for the time to chat about this. I'm speaking with Dean Ronalds and Emanuela Galliussi, the team behind Zoe, which is just a wonderful film. It's so fueled with joy. It really is
Thank you.
something special.
Thank you so much. Uh, we love obviously when people like the movie, and so far it's been affecting an audience in this way, and I think it's
I think joy was the operative word for this specific project.
yeah, I think we entered this film just that was the key element was it
Mm.
was infused with the positive love of joy and diversity and worldwide just positive energy, that was the key. Like taking people away and just injecting them with a meaningful, fun, loving, memorable, joyous
And even
occasion.
for the cast and crew, I gotta say, we were always approaching them like we want to go back to the joy of storytelling. So it's beautiful that it's the first thing that you say because it really hits home for the movie, for the behind the scenes. So
Making of it, yeah.
amazing.
That I'm so thrilled to hear that because that really is you can't not fall in love with this film. It is, Zoe's journey is is so much. It's both challenging and fun to watch at the same time. Uh, where did the idea come from? Where did Zoe? How did Zoe come to be?
Well, didn't I just moved to Italy? We were living in New York and we were kind of like we were producing together and making movies together. We have our own production company. And for a few years before between COVID and the move and everything, we were kind of like struggling to find the right story for us to tell. I
Because
usually write
yeah, for
dramas.
about 10 years when we started the production company, we've been developing, these heavy dramas or, meaningful films, but with about loss and acceptance and where do we find ourselves in this world. But they're heavy films.
I even found myself as an actress during COVID saying to my manager, I don't want to audition for dramas anymore. I really felt like heavy, like everything was heavy, the world was
We
heavy.
moved to Italy. The day we moved to Italy, the war in Ukraine started.
And to us it was another signal, like the world needed lightness, needed joy, needed to dream again, to believe again, to trust each other again, to have grace
And
and
to not go to a movie and just be hit over the head. And look, I like dramas and serious films, but like film is about escape and you know the excitement of the possibility of what if, and that's like what I loved about movies. It was like I went to movies to have these escapes to become these fantasies, these adventures. So it was really like going back to
yeah.
like the stories we
And we started
loved.
even having these conversations like, okay, let's go back when we were kids where there was joy. What were you drawn into? And we started saying like movies, and it was just spitballing stuff that wasn't even like going, well together. It didn't matter.
Yeah,
And
like
then
Back to the Future, you got back there, like Big,
I
like all these films growing up, or
was
like,
a super ET fan, so again, the magical aspects too, and
of course, Star Wars and Clue and the Groundhog's Day, and then it's, even like some of the heavier, like even like goofy Woody Allen films, Manhattan and the early Cassavetes, Husbands, ridiculous sort of like realistic but like absurd, and
I think though, then after doing that, it was like we are still like, okay, what are some sort of messages that we want to though touch? And some audience picks on it and some others don't. But like there are some even some sort of heavy things
some
that could be
social
also
messages.
like you're pregnant. What do you do with the pregnancy? Like you're in the moment of your life that you question, are we ready? Am I not? Are we as a couple?
Your
Am I
sexuality.
alone? The sexuality, or, like, And then there was the languages. It was very important for me to have the different languages because I've been an immigrant. Now Dean is an immigrant because he lives in Italy with me. So, like having friends dealing with that and
And you see, I mean, obviously living in Europe, you just see that. I mean, now I guess in America too, it's strange. But like, everybody's from somewhere else here.
and to us the message was like it doesn't matter any of that. We are all the same inside and we actually are thriving for the same things, which is actually, love and happiness and fulfillment. So it was a bit like a potion, a bit, this and that and this and that. And then I'm nuts and I'm like, okay, I'm a witch. Poof.
Yes, exactly. So we kind of, because I was like, we were like, it's got to be like these things. These elements have to be in play. They just have to. I don't want to think about making another movie, spending the time. We had spent so much time developing so many other films that we actually never made, and it's just like I want to think about something fun and loving, and that's gonna make an audience feel like that. And so I left it to The Witch.
And the witch, I have these ideas at night, really, and I have my book next to me because when I start writing something, I don't sleep. I already know it for a month because I have all these ideas, and it just start popping in my head. I was like, oh, makes sense. And then I wanted a name that worked for every city, no matter what. And I wanted a meaningful name, and Zoe means life, new life. So it's all of that, and it just started popping in my head,
Started
and
knitting the sweater together,
yeah.
and then like
I
understanding.
always send him pages. I was like, just read, just tell me if it sucks or if I should keep going. And he's always like,
I'm
keep
like, we'll get
going.
to the notes and development, but this is a good start. But I don't know how we're gonna make it. But this is fantastic. I love it. I don't know how we're gonna make it, but
And
and
that's the
then
long
yeah,
of it.
that's
But
yeah, and
yeah.
then she wrote it, and the development began, the rewriting and the
And now
table
here we
read and
are.
which wasn't easy finding people in different languages, but it was again, as we know, if you want to make something that stands out or that's meaningful or you know that has this sort of depth that storytelling needs to connect, you really have to massage it and marinate on it and work it and rework it and she's good at throwing the drafts together, and I'm great at giving the notes, and she's really good at she speaks four languages, and she has this culture, like from birth, Italians, it's just like it's there. And she went to the school, the Silvia D'Amico, it's basically Juilliard of Italy and Rome, and she has this deep understanding of storytelling, and I felt like coming together, we really make a great team in that respect. And this film was many years in the making, essentially, as far as the team.
Sure. Well, honestly, I love too that it moves around. I would also like to offer, you mentioned all these other wonderful films, and maybe it's the season, but this one hit me different a little. It kind of reminded me of A Christmas Carol,
Mhm.
Dickens' Christmas Carol
Yeah, of
in
course.
some
Yeah.
way,
Of course.
with as Zoe's dealing with her ghosts, if you will,
Yeah.
her different ghosts. And each scenario is so different and so filled with life.
Mm.
And I love the fact as well that the film is exploring her as much as it's exploring the nature of love. I think
Right.
that's a fascinating tension. And
Yeah.
Emanuela, I mean, as you're writing something like this, I wondered, Zoe's on this journey where she's learning about herself. Is there something that you learned about yourself through her journey?
Heck yeah. I mean, first of all, the reason why I moved to the US in 2011 after I already had my artist visa, it was because I was in a toxic relationship for 10 years. And I literally took two luggages and I had a career here and I was just like, I'm not happy. So, kind of like Zoe, you have everything that you could, but you're not happy. So, what do you do with it? And I kind of didn't tell anybody. I put these two luggages and I left. And I literally start like I love New York. I always say it's my boyfriend because I start finding myself in New York, like literally I lost touch of who I was, what I liked. I didn't know anymore what I liked in terms of clothes or food even, like I felt almost lobotomized and I allowed it. So I start to knowing myself and loving myself. And in return, I start finding my family that wasn't, my friends start becoming my family. And then I found Dean and I think
No, I found you.
what I went through, I think I wanted Zoe to go through the same thing. It was kind of for me, it was I feel like I lived so many lives, and I'm 45, but I feel like I lived so many different lives and what I discovered myself in New York is such a beautiful thing because you wonder, sometimes about love, but ultimately for me, you need to love yourself first,
Mm.
know yourself and accept your flaws, and then you're able to maybe love someone else. And but yeah, I think I wanted to give that to her as much as it meant to me so much in my life, to discover who I was.
Well, with that being said, one of the things we see with her is as she meets the wizard, if you will, um, she wants to discover what the truth of love is.
Yeah.
I wondered for you both what you think that is.
I think it's understanding yourself first, because I don't think if you're trying to find yourself through somebody else or have somebody else tell you, that's a bad way to start something. You have to understand, pretty good. I don't know if we ever truly understand ourselves 100%, right? That's life, right? Where every day we learn something different or new about ourselves. But to understand ourselves in an honest way, I think when you understand yourself in an honest way, you can be honest with somebody else. And I believe that's the most important thing.
And that's really where we leave Zoe, right? Like we leave Zoe with loving herself and be honest with herself.
Spoiler alert.
Well, we don't see her, really like we don't know. It's a question mark, right? But that's the first step. And as far as you're asking me, Emanuela, like what is love for me? Well, love for me is Dean because he's my husband.
But now I'm the jerk.
But no, but the beauty for me is that I think love is true what Dean says. Absolutely loving yourself. I always say I probably wouldn't have not recognized him if I wouldn't have gone through my self-discovery in New York first.
Mm.
But it's for sure communication and caring for each other, supporting each other, and
Honesty.
and honesty, like being
Being
honest.
able to give your phone to your partner and like not have it locked or whatever, or like,
Like
whatever.
I don't get it. We always say, listen, if I just have a thought of it, we just talk about it and maybe that's it, but there's love still by saying,
Yeah.
hey, this is happening. Maybe we're done, or maybe let's talk about it. What's going on? Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I want to know what love is. You want to break out in
I,
song.
I'm restraining every part of me to continue that song.
I bet. I want
Everybody will stop listening immediately if I start.
to. For
um,
sure.
no, she's in all honesty though, like I mean, certainly she's going on this journey. And she talks about being a coward. I was wondering if there was something in particular, especially at the beginning of the film, that really scares her, and what that might be.
Well, it's scary to jump in something completely, when you're comfortable in something,
Mm.
the unknown is scary. What you don't know, what you fear is always around the corner and stops you. But for me, Emanuela, wife, mother, daughter, friend, and artist, fear is what attracts me. Because when I think like, oh, I fear that, then I gotta go there, you
Yeah.
know? So it's really like, and it's what she learns too.
Yeah.
What Zoe learns as well. It's like, oh, I'm fearful of that. Then I gotta go through it and see where it leads me, you know? I don't remember where I heard it, if it was a podcast or I read it. Like, life is mountains. You get to the top of it and get ready to go to the next one. So, you know, it's always going up and learning something more and having something more on your backpack. It's a journey. So,
Well, I'm certainly glad that you both ran towards this film because, and this character and this journey, because I do think this is, I love what you said there. Like, dramas are wonderful. It's powerful. They can be changing, but we need these sorts of films as well. Um, and we see lots of character, like you said, character drama moments in this that I think are genuinely challenging, but it is just such a wonderful piece. I appreciate so much the chance to chat with you. Thank you so much.
thank you
Thank
so
you. We
much.
appreciate it. We're glad you liked the film and, you know, tell your friends.
What I do.
Great.
Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thanks.
You
You
too.
too. Take
Thank
Bye.
care.
you. Bye-bye.